Mercury Marauder. When it comes to the Panther platform, this car is at the top of the food chain. It is the absolute apex predator. And yet, after finally owning one, I find myself a little underwhelmed with the car. So, brace yourself, folks. You guys know I've always kept it real with you. What you guys are about to witness is the most brutally honest review of our Panther God. And just like I found out after owning this car, you guys will too. And that is that even gods bleed. So if you are a newcomer to the Panther platform, or you happen to be in the market for one of these, you're essentially looking at not only the last, but the only four-door V8 Cobra-powered Ford ever made. Did you know the Marauder nameplate was the last name introduced to the Panther platform by Ford? This truly makes the Marauder the last of its kind. That statement alone does not tell you just how special this car is. Allow me to continue. Add to that the fact that only 11,000 were made for the years of 2003 and 2004 only. That alone automatically skyrockets this car to the top of any Panther car enthusiast bucket list. All right, so I got a little bit of trivia here. Did you guys know that when the Marauder first came out back in the day, back in 2003, the average buyer's age for these cars was 51 years old? Now, powering this car is the same 4.6 liter 4-valve double overhead cam V8 that graced the likes of the same model year Mustang Mach 1 and Cobra. Now, as far as suspension goes, the front end comes straight off of the Crown Victoria P71 Police Interceptor. And the floor shifter transmission, along with the air ride suspension rear end, came straight off the Crown Victoria LX Sport. Put a little tab on that. We're going to be coming back to this particular car related to this particular car in just a minute. Hang on to that. You see, that's when the illusion and godlike status of this car actually starts to fall apart. You see, once you look past the incredibly low production numbers, the Cobra powered V8 under the hood, and the Terminator Cobra inspired front end, it's surprising just how much Crown Victoria DNA is in this car. And so to prove my point, I decided to bring out the old LX Sport. So you guys can see for yourself that the Marauder is nothing more than a glorified Crown Victoria LX Sport. From essentially even the same door panels, the same damn floor shifter, hell, even the radio's the same. From the radio, this little phone holder gap thing here, it's actually interchangeable from this car to the Marauder. I'll show you guys. Keep an eye on this little phone gap here and check out the radio. Now we're in the Marauder. Look at that. Same radio. You guys remember that cup holder? The interchangeable phone holder, little cubby hole right there? Well, the gauges in this car are switched to the A-pillar, but just so you can see, even that part, even that piece from the LX Sport can just go right in to your Marauder. Climate control inside a Marauder. Climate control inside an LX Sport. Steering wheel inside a Marauder. Steering wheel inside an LX Sport. Look familiar? Yeah, exactly the same types of trunks. Not even the trunk arrangement is different. It's pretty much just a Crown Victoria. Here's the LX Sport. Here's the Marauder. They didn't even bother to change the layout like they did on some Lincoln Town cars. Those of you with a keen eye will notice that the Marauder also uses the same taillights and the blacked out rear deck lid from the P71. Here's another little piece of trivia for you. The Marauder's taillights actually have a slight tint to them. As a matter of fact, the lights are so dark that they barely met the minimum standards for car productions for the Department of Transportation. It's literally got the same upper dashboard area as a P71. There's the Marauder. Literally, you're just looking at the interior of a Crown Vic. You figured they put something that says Marauder or SVT or something. No, just the same old dash that's in a freaking P71. But if that isn't enough to tell you that the Marauder is just a Crown Vic LX Sport in disguise, first ever Mercury Marauder concept car was literally a dressed up Crown Victoria LX Sport. Hell, that same Marauder concept car actually first came with the 2-valve 4.6 liter under the hood instead of the 4-valve Cobra engine. And if you ask me, when it comes to it, the Crown Victoria LX Sport has a much more refined and luxurious interior than the Mercury Marauder. So then you might be asking yourself, why then? Why would anybody want to buy one of these cars? Well, the answer is simple, and that's something the Marauder has that no Crown Victoria will ever have. The one thing that wins the arguments every time. And you guys are looking at it. You see, that's what makes a Mercury Marauder so special. The reason this car sits uncontested on its throne. And that's because it has all the elements, every single thing that makes a Panther car great. It combines the stealthy, sleek, intimidating looks from the Police Interceptor with the Police Interceptor front end suspension, along with front and rear brakes, also from the Police Interceptor. Add in a limited slip 355 gear ratio and an aluminum dry shaft from, yep, you guessed it, the Police Interceptor. All powered by a 300 horsepower Cobra engine. The Mercury Marauder is peak Police Interceptor, it's peak Crown Victoria, and it's the peak of the Panther car world. This car is a living tribute, a literal swan song to the Panther platform. With the car slowly, actually it's a year away. This car right here is a year away from the 20-year mark. That window to own the greatest Panther car ever made is getting smaller and smaller with each year that passes. So to answer the question, that is why I bought a Mercury Marauder. Why? It's the same thing as an LX Sport. It just has a different bumper, some different rims, different headlights. Negative. This is it. This is it, boys. This is peaking. It's as high as it gets. That being said, it's your boy, Mr. Random. I'm going to go hit this thing up for a little weekend drive with the wife. She's in the LX Sport. I'll be in this old bad boy right here, and I'll catch you guys on the next Panther video, whether it's Cobra Roush, LX Sport, Marauder. I got some mods already coming up for this thing, some very tasteful mods. So keep it locked here to Mr. Random Reviews, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy.